Hi guys, it's Dakota. Welcome to the Hallowed Cauldron. I hope everybody's doing well today. So I thought I would do something a little bit different. As you know, or some of you may not know, but I do a weekly pull of a card, and either tarot, oracle, or one of my other spiritually kind of cards. And that card is that I pull is mostly just for the week. So a message for the week. What do I need to work on? What do I need to be looking at? What do I need to be releasing? That kind of thing. I don't do a reading. I don't specifically, I don't ask for any specific questions other than just give me a message for the week, a message for the week. So I came upstairs and to do it, as you can see, I'm in my devotional room or my witchy room, as some of you refer it to, not the witch cottage. And so I'm going to pull from the Wildwood Tarot. This is the Wildwood Tarot deck. And it is one of my favorite decks. It has and no disrespect, first of all, I am not Druid, okay? But just my own interpretation is that it feels kind of druidy to me, in that it is very earthy, it's very rooted, it's grounded, and it is of the elements of Mother Earth. It is of the plant, of the animal, and of course, and the four elements. And again, it has this very rooted energy to it for me. So it's the deck that I like to read from, or I like to pull my one card from. Now, this is not a deck that I can read intuitively or that I would feel comfortable doing a reading for someone with. I will say this, it part of the deck, at least for me, part of the deck is very has a Rider Waite ish feel to it. Some of your like the suits and some of the pip cards, etc. But the suits are very different. So vessels is cups, and they use vessels for cups. And some of those have that feel to it, but on a very, very, very deep, real spiritual feel about it. Now, some of the cards are aesthetically pleasing to my eyes and others not so much. But the ones that aren't spiritually or aren't aesthetically spiritual to my eyes are very aesthetic to my soul, if that makes sense. I feel it in my soul. Now, before I read, I want to mention that because I am not a psychic, I'm not a medium, and I read intuitively, and I do use spirit guides to help me bring about certain things in the cards. I do have to, with this particular deck, with the Wildwood Tarot, I do have to read, or I like to, even with the cards that I do know, like say this is the Hermit. Okay, this is called the Hooded Man, but he's actually the Hermit in the Wildwood Tarot. He's called the Hooded Man, but he's actually the Hermit. So the baseline meaning of the Wooded Man is very much the baseline Rider Waite Hermit card. But it has a deeper, more spiritual, earthy, rooted kind of feel to it. So therefore, I like to do just my one card pull, and I do like to read from the book, the meaning. What that has done for me is, because it interprets it very differently than Rider Waite, not very, some of them are very different than Rider Waite, but because of the feel, the energy of their meaning of the card, what it has done for me is has really opened doors to my readings with my regular Rider Waite decks. Yes, the Rider Waite has a basic root meaning. So the Hermit has a basic, the Magician has a basic root meaning, any of them. The Two of Swords, I mean, it's the Two of Swords is a Two of Swords with the Three of Swords. You know, they have this basic root meaning. But I have found with this deck that it's a little bit more. And even when you read other decks, whether it be an old vintage, maybe Italian deck or some Spanish decks, their interpretations are can be either very different to at least moderately different. And for me, this deck in particular, the Wildwood Tarot, has really opened up doors for me with my readings. It has given me a more, I don't know, expanded spiritualness or grounded, earthy, rooted flavor to my readings. So I really, really enjoy it. However, I do read from the book when I pull my one card. And the reason, so what I'm doing, we're going to get started here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle the deck and I'm just going to pull one card. And that card is, what is the message of the week? What do I need to know this week? Do I need to release? Do I need to manifest? Or just what is it that you're trying to tell me? And I will read a few things, a few lines from the book on that particular card. And then I thought what I would do is present to you how I feel that card resonates with me, how it is going to manifest for me, or how it is manifesting for me, or what it is asking me to do, if that makes sense. Okay, so I just thought that would be fun. I had some other topics that, you know, I was thinking about doing some other content, but it's been kind of rainy on and off. I didn't feel like hauling stuff over to the cottage. It's just been sort of a weird energy this weekend. Actually, I had a really, really great weekend, by the way. I've really enjoyed it. I've just been doing a lot of personal work, and I think sometimes when we do that, excuse me, sometimes your energy just gets kind of like, you know, overwhelmed or something like that. So, okay, so I've just shuffled the cards a little bit, and I'm going to pretend like I'm doing a 3-card cut here, just so you can see. Okay, so I just want to know the message for the week. All right, let's see what we got. All right, so let me move this over just a bit so I can get my cards on there. Okay, wow, so we got balance. We got balance. It's card number 14. It's balance. They're sort of snaky dragons, and you can see the face down here, and red, and looks, I can't tell the color so much, but anyway, let me put you on pause real quick. I'm going to open up the book to this, and we will go from there. Okay, so this is about, well, this is balance, and so those of you who may know, this is temperance, the temperance card, and you can see the balance between the red and, let's just call it white, snake-like thing that's going up the tree. Okay, so what it says is that this is like the polarized energies, the polar energies, and they're talking more about the polar energies of land and the heaven, or the heavens. And so what it's telling us is that you must be balanced and patient. The time is right. Let me move this over here so I can see. I'll move this like this, then I can see. All right, the time is right to rest and contemplate all the facets of your existence. To continue now, you must be still and calm, finding the inner balance that will enable you to see beyond the present state is a process of trust and confidence in your own strengths. These facets may include the parts of your psyche that you would rather not deal with, but no amount of denial will rid you of the need to absorb and reclaim them. Balance is absolutely necessary to free the inner self from the fears and self-doubts that keep us spiritually deaf, dumb, and blind. Once the natural state of balance is achieved, the plateau that will give you access to the highest self will be open before you. And how true is that? I mean, that is like spot on, right? So there's going to be times, you know, there definitely is going to be times often, maybe even daily, that we're going to have ups and downs, the ebbs and flows. We're going to have, you know, happy versus sad. You know, there's going to be trust and mistrust. There's going to be, you know, all of the things. And we have to find a balance with that. We have to know when and why we're going to react to something, that because that causes an imbalance. So, and here's just a silly example. Say we're driving down the road and someone, you know, they're on your bumper and you're just like, get off my butt, you know, that kind of thing. And then they swerve around and they cut in front of you just to get like one car ahead. Whoopee, you know. And it just makes you so angry, you know, because one is it just pisses you off, you know. Two is that's a danger, you know, that's a dangerous move, and y'all end up at the light at the same time anyway. But here's my point: why engage in that? You know, why allow yourself to have that anger? Because what that's doing is it's not hurting the guy in front of you. It's not hurting the guy that was tailgating you, and it's not hurting the guy that cut you off. You know what I mean? It's not. You being angry is your emotion. He's just going on about his day. Maybe that's just how he drives. I mean, who knows? You know, maybe he's an idiot. Maybe he, you know, something tragic happened in his life. We don't really know. But why react to that? So if you react being angry and mad, then it throws you off balance. Then you're not balanced. And in the Rider-Waite deck, balance shows, or temperance shows that she's got, what it's usually a female, or let's just say a figure of one foot on land and 1 foot on the in the water. And it is sort of this balancing act. You know, if you lean too far one way, you're going to fall into the water, and if you lean too far the other way, you're going to have the earth. And here's the thing: you have to have both for balance. So, you know, this is a good point right here. Is to finding the calm in the storm. Because none of that changes the situation. You get mad at your significant other, you know, there's, oh, you're just so mad. And I mean, the point is, what is the point? That's the point. Excuse me. You know, it's an unnecessary emotion. Now, I'm not saying we have the emotion. We're human. We're human, and we are controlled pretty much by water. And so when someone makes us mad, if someone, you know, if someone does something that we get mad about, that's how it should be phrased. If someone does something and we react by anger, or if someone does something and we say they hurt my feelings, no, you allowed your feelings to be hurt. We've all heard that saying. But it's truth. There's truth in that saying. Now, we may not be able to control the fact that our feelings got hurt, but that's ours. That's our imbalance. That's our imbalance because we reacted to what they did regardless of that. And now I will say there's extremes, so I'm not talking about like extremes. I'm not talking about life and death extremes here. I'm just talking about, daily things that happen during the day. Um, and I just know, back in the day when we first opened the metaphysical store, we were actually an antique store that had a metaphysical section in our store when we built our new place. The other place was strictly antiques. We had a little 6 by 8 foot area that I carried some stones and some sage, and that was it. But when we built the other place, we brought the antiques with us. That was half of the store, and the other half of the store was metaphysical stuff. Now, the people that were coming in for the antiques certainly were not there for the metaphysical stuff. They were not there for the metaphysical stuff. And there were a lot of debates, I can tell you. There were a lot of debates. There were a lot, and they weren't even debates. They were one-sided debates, and it was one-sided on them. They wanted to tell their story. They wanted to preach their story about how evil and, this was wrong and, blah, 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 blah. But they didn't care to hear my side of the story. So in the beginning of all that, I would actually try to have conversation. I would try to explain nature-based religion or, nature-based spirituality. We try to protect the environment. We're basically old hippie tree huggers. Anything that I could say to kind of lighten the load. But the thing is, they weren't hearing that. They were not going to hear that. They wanted to preach their gospel, and their gospel was law. And by me reacting was only making me angrier, and it was making them angrier. And the next thing you know, it's like this hamster on a wheel, which I use that phrase a lot because it's true. You get nowhere. There's no way that I was going to ever change their mind, or nor were they going to change my mind. So about, our separate paths. And there was no way that we could ever have climbed that pole together and find a balance and say, you know what? You are a deserving person of happiness and love and health, and I am a person worthy of those things as well. I wish you the best journey on your way to wherever that place is that's going to make you happy. And I would hope that you would, put me on that branch as well and let me climb my way to my happiness. That would be balance. But I caught myself debating. I caught myself trying to win. I'm going to win this conversation. No, I'm not, nor are they. The louder I got, the louder they got. It just, so that's an imbalance. But it happens, temperance, or in this case, balance, the balance card. It has to do with a balance of the ebb and the flow. And once you get too sidetracked on one or the other, it throws you off. So, since this is the card I pulled for the message of the week, how I feel about this card, I'm going to look at it real quick. So what I feel about this card is that, for me, how it affects me for this week and the message of this week is to not let those people who are, who have something to say about me that's not great. You know what I mean? Like, that's their journey, and they have a right to do that. So like, the haters, the ones that are jealous, the ones that are envious, the ones that want to have more power, the ones that have a bigger ego, the narcissists, the controllers, the manipulators, the ones with an ulterior motive. What I would like to say to them is, or what, I'd like to say a lot, but I'm going to try to work on this card this week. Um, in order for me to work on this week is to have that, just what I just said. I will just try to work on the balance by not engaging in that energy. So if there's gossip about me, if there's, something ill towards me, then that is really none of my business, honestly. And I hate that meme, well, I think the meme's cute. But what I'm saying is that that's the truth. It's really not. I will just continue on my journey because because for me to engage in that, what does that do? It just makes me madder, and or more upset. And then I'm the one upset and they're not. So it doesn't do me any good. It's not serving of my highest good. So in order for me to find a balance within, to find a calm within, I this week am going to work on awareness, being aware of when I might have either my own judgment, my own spoken judgment, because look, I do it. I'm not going to lie. I am not perfect. So I'm not sitting here trying to preach to you and tell you that I'm perfect. But I am going to try. That's what this message is saying to me. The message is saying to me that if you want to have this balance and if you are trying to create this calm and not get wrapped up and even tangled up in drama and gossip and hate and frustrations and anger and all the stuff that's going on in the world, the debates and just all the mess, will be to stay calm within myself and be aware of my own judgments, of my own, catch myself before I engage, and to be more understanding that regardless if someone is cutting me off, be it that it's not safe, besides that, is to just say, well, if I get angry, then I'm the one that has a ruined day, not that person. They're 2 cars ahead of me. So it's really about observation of myself, of trying to just stay calm and non-reactive in a negative way. There's just no reason for it, and because that's going to keep me from the spiritual journey that I'm so seeking. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to do with this. So that's what I'm going to do this week. That's what I'm going to focus on. That's what I'm going to work on, is balance, and balance of emotion, and just try to not engage in any kind of silliness that isn't serving my highest good, and just let it go, and work on it. So yeah, so this is going to be my card for the week. I'm going to go put it on the table and put a little grid on it, and we'll be good. Okay, and then at the end of the week I am going to write in my little journal just a couple of sentences or two, and see how that works out for me. See if anything did come up that I observed and went, whoa, I just did that, kind of thing. So I think that's a really good card. I really liked it, and that was really fun. I don't know. I enjoyed that. Did you like it or not? Okay, so there you go. Have a great week, everybody. See you next time. Bye.